Hey, I'm Kelly. If you love cars as much as I do, you're in the right place. From drifting car days to uncovering the world's most iconic rides. Gear up and subscribe to Drive with Kelly for non-stop car fun. Picture this. It's 3 a.m., you're in a Ford design lab, someone's shouting about mid-engines, there's a Capri on fire in the corner, and a mysterious Italian guy just slid a sketch across the table like it's classified intelligence. Well, okay, maybe things didn't unfold exactly like that, but you get the picture. This is the story of 10 rare and extraordinary Fords that, unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, depending on how you feel about it, never made it to mass production. The Ford Mystere. If you've ever asked yourself what might happen if a spaceship and a car brochure somehow joined forces, Ford answered that question in 1955 with the Mystere. This was not your typical Sunday cruiser. It had a full glass bubble canopy, a steering wheel that slid from one side to the other, and was supposedly going to be powered by a gas turbine. In reality, it had no engine at all. It was never meant to reach showrooms, but it absolutely hit headlines. Giant wheel discs, fins sharp enough to slice bread, a rear engine bay, and no corner windshield posts, the Mystere leaned completely into futuristic drama. No sliding windows, no intention of being street legal, and yet it came fully air-conditioned, which is a very Ford thing to do. Ford knew exactly what they were building here. This was a rolling press magnet, and it worked perfectly. The Ford Gyron. Coming up next is something that looked like it rolled straight out of a sci-fi comic, the Ford Gyron. From the outside, it had clean, streamlined looks and a fiberglass body. But the real shock was what kept it upright. This thing balanced on two wheels using internal gyroscopes. Yes, gyroscopes. Essentially, a motorcycle that never needed to lean. At low speeds or when parked, small jockey wheels popped out to keep it steady. Otherwise, it moved more like a two-wheeled spaceship than anything you would expect from a car company. No traditional steering wheel either, just a dial positioned between the two seats. Want to steer? Twist it. Need to brake? Foot pads. And in true Jetsons fashion, there was talk of a built-in computer system to program your entire route, complete with a snooperscope screen for seeing through fog or darkness. A cordless push-button phone was thrown in as well, because apparently the Gyron was already living in a different decade. Sadly, the only working prototype was destroyed in a fire at the Ford Rotunda in 1962. But for one brief moment, it showed just how strange and wonderful the future of personal transport could have looked. The Ford Mach 2. Next is a car that tried to bottle everything that made the GT40 special and sell it directly to the public, the Ford Mach 2. This one came straight out of Ford's Advanced Concepts department, with Roy Lunn, one of the key minds behind the GT40 itself, leading development. That pedigree alone made it worth paying attention to. The Mach 2 was a low-slung, mid-engined two-seater carrying a 289 cubic inch V8 lifted directly from the Mustang. It sat just 47 inches high, ran independent rear suspension, and weighed in around 2,650 pounds. Ford was targeting a launch price of $7,500, roughly $71,000 in today's money, with plans to build 500 units in the first year and grow from there. The engineering underneath was serious. Semi-monocoque steel construction, a fiberglass body, and a clever airflow system that drew air through the nose and expelled it through the front deck, with two electric fans handling the cooling. But, like so many promising concepts, changing priorities and shifting schedules left it stranded on the sidelines. For a brief moment, though, the Mach 2 genuinely looked like it could have been Ford's next Cobra, just with the engine sitting behind your shoulders. The Ford Kamuda. Next up is the Ford Kamuda, a small electric car Ford was experimenting with long before the current EV push made it fashionable. At just 6 feet 8 inches long, the Kamuda was compact enough that 3 of them could fit inside a single standard parking space. An 18-foot turning circle, no clutch, no gears. Ford called it automatic driving, and for the late 1960s, that was a genuinely interesting idea. Designed for city life, It could seat 2 adults and 2 children, and came with dipping headlamps, anti-burst door locks, and a heating and cooling system. Independent suspension on all 4 wheels, 2 electric motors driving the rear axle, and 4 1.2-volt batteries supplying the power. Range topped out at 37 miles. Top speed reached 37 miles per hour, though not simultaneously. Ford put $10 million into the project before deciding it was not viable for production. Even so, the Kamuda stands as one of the clearest early signs that Ford was already seriously thinking about electric urban transport decades before anyone else was treating the idea as anything more than a curiosity. The Ford Karita. Next on the list is a concept that aimed to push the sporty hatchback idea somewhere more interesting. The 1976 Ford Karita. Volkswagen had already made noise with the Scirocco, and Ford was looking to carve out a smaller, sharper segment with this gull-wing-doored coupe built on the European Fiesta S platform. Shown at the 1976 Turin Motor Show, the Karita was a Ghia design featuring a large glass area, modular dashboard layout, and front-wheel drive. Electrically operated headlamp covers, gull-wing doors that opened upward for easy access in tight spaces, and a bottom-hinged tailgate that could lock open to extend the cargo area. The details were genuinely clever. Despite all of it, Ford's senior management never committed to putting the Karita into production. It remains a well-dressed footnote in Ford's ongoing attempt to build a compact sports car that actually had some personality to go with it. The Ford Pock. The Ford Pock had a name that explained itself. It blended the words pocket and car, and that was not just a marketing idea. This thing had real exterior door storage panels, bottom-hinged, that let you stash bags or small gear without even opening the main doors. Those outside compartments never made production, but the thinking behind them did travel forward. Later versions of the Fiesta, Escort, and Sierra borrowed several interior layout ideas directly from the Pockar's cabin, particularly around how it managed storage and passenger space. At just 129 inches long, it was a 4-seater that packed a lot into a very small footprint. Large wraparound bumpers mirrored the shape of the side luggage compartments and helped with parking. Rectangular headlights with built-in wraparound turn indicators, a single front wiper, and interior door compartments that doubled as armrests. It never reached showrooms, but some of its ideas quietly surfaced years later in the dash binnacle design of the Ford Ka, which did not arrive until 1996. Not every concept dies completely, sometimes it just waits. The Ford Breza. Continuing the lineup is the Ford Breza, a concept that stood apart not just for its layout, but for the person responsible for it. Designed by Marilena Korvaske, the Breza made history as the first car from a major manufacturer to be designed entirely by a woman, exterior and interior both. It was a compact, mid-engined 2-seater with the engine mounted behind the seats, using a 1.6-liter CVH unit from the Escort Mk3. Ford started the project with an automatic transmission and floated the idea of a 5-speed manual before shelving the whole thing entirely. The shape was built around reducing drag. Rounded nose, retractable headlamps, flush-glazed windshield, rear wheels tucked neatly behind fairings, and a partial belly pan underneath to smooth out the airflow. At 157 inches long, 65 inches wide, and just 48 inches tall on a 91-inch wheelbase, the proportions were tight and deliberate. It was a serious piece of design work that deserved more than a shelf. The Ford Bartetta. Next up is the Ford Bartetta, a concept that came within reach of giving the world a fun, affordable, open-top roadster a full 6 years before the Mazda MX-5 arrived and changed everything. Built on the Fiesta XR2 platform, the Bartetta ran an 86-horsepower 1.6-liter engine with front-wheel drive. Its name is Italian for little boat, and that fit the open roof, lightweight character, and the spirit of classic European sports cars, all pointed in the same direction. Flush lighting, a wedge-shaped body, and a scissor-style fabric top that folded neatly behind the seats. Designed by Ford of Europe and Ghia, assembled in Turin, and priced to be accessible. When it appeared at the 1984 Geneva Motor Show, the public reaction was enormous. Ford pulled the plug anyway. The only faint echo of what might have been showed up years later in the form of the Australian Mercury Capri in 1991. The Bartetta was short-lived, but it proved what was possible with an existing platform and just how close Ford came to getting there before anyone else. The Ford Mach. Carrying the momentum of sporty concepts forward, Ford's next attempt came in the form of the Mach. Shown at the Turin Motor Show, it was a mid-engine sports car shaped by Giorgetto Giugiaro at Ital Design, one of the most respected names in automotive design anywhere in the world. The Mach was built around a 250 horsepower, 3-liter V6 developed in partnership with Yamaha, years before that same pairing would resurface in the Ford Puma's engine program. Ford was reportedly considering production runs of up to 50 cars per day, which meant this was not just a show exercise. There were real conversations happening about bringing it to market. Its low, wedge-shaped body was designed around aerodynamic efficiency, and inside it offered more space than the exterior suggested, along with a steering wheel packed with controls for most of the car's key functions. Despite the genuine excitement around it, the Mach joined the long and frustrating list of concepts that never made it past the prototype stage. The Cobra ME 230. Rounding out the list is the Cobra ME 230, Ford's final entry in this run of mid-engine concepts from the 1980s. After passing on the Breza as a Pontiac Fiero rival, Ford came back to the mid-engine layout in 1986 with this low-slung two-seater. And unlike most Ford concepts of the period, this one was not built by Ghia. French company Chausson handled the assembly. Under the rear hatch sat a 2.5-liter turbocharged four-cylinder producing 230 horsepower. Ford claimed a 0 to 60 time of 6 seconds and a top speed of 130 mph. With a drag coefficient as low as 0.33 and potentially lower, with further refinement, it was not being modest in the wind tunnel either. Inside, power lumbar bucket seats, leather trim, and controls arranged for straightforward access made the interior feel production-ready. It never advanced beyond the concept stage, but its styling left a visible mark on the more mainstream Ford probe that followed shortly after. Some ideas do not disappear, they just get repackaged. Honorable mention: Ford Capri RS 2800. The Ford Capri RS 2800 deserves a mention here. It was built to follow the RS 2600 and RS 3100 and give Ford a genuine contender in the European Touring Car Championship. Development had been approved through the Advanced Vehicle Operations Team, with a US-sourced 2.8-liter V6 planned for under the hood and a target of 2,000 units per year. When the Evo division was shut down, the entire project collapsed before a single customer had the chance to put their name on one. Honestly, there is something about the RS 2800's attitude that feels oddly similar to the Hyundai N-Vision 74. Completely different eras, but a shared sense of what could have been. So, that's the list. Which one surprised you the most, and is there a rare Ford we missed that deserved to be here? Drop it in the comments, genuinely curious to hear your picks. And out of all of these, which one should have actually made it to production? Now, if you think Ford's past concepts were wild, wait until you see what they're doing next. Tap the video popping up on your screen right now. If this video was worth your time, hit subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.